Hey, Jermaine Griggs here, founder of Automation Clinic. And if you want to know whether to go with a branded fancy homepage or a funnel, listen and tune in to today's episodes of Automation Mondays. Hey, Jermaine Griggs here, founder of AutomationClinic.com and creator of the weekly show Automation Mondays, where I take an issue, a question, a concept, philosophy in marketing, sales, list building, lead generation, conversion systems, and automation, and I break it down step by step. And in today's episode, I want to take the question, fancy branded website or funnel? Right? So it's the age-old question, especially in modern times on the internet, is do I go with this like fancy branded website by some fancy agency, right, that can create me this nice homepage where I'd be proud of it and I can give it to my neighbors out in the real world? Or do I go with a targeted funnel? Now, it may not be super pretty, but it will get the job done. And that is the question that I want to talk about. And really the answer, right? And let me just write funnel versus branded site. The answer, the short answer is you can have both, but the wisdom and the experience comes in understanding what the functions of each are. Now, to a hardcore marketer like myself, I've been at this 16 years. I started here in Play.com, August 2000. I've sat under the #1 internet marketer. He owned internetmarketing.com, Corey Rudel. He's not with us today, but I've been able to not only put in the years of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, but I've been on the other side of this digital space. I've seen it grow, and I've seen all the changes and how easy things are now. And I will tell you that your funnel is where you're going to make your money, right? Right? So, yeah, and your funnel, it's going to have an opt-in page, right? It consists of a page where you got to capture leads. And the funny thing about it is people have tested going pretty with this, going, with something sort of respectable that, I could give to my neighbor, right? And then what they find is like the simple opt-in pages with like a white background, a headline and an opt-in form. It doesn't look like a website at all to the outside world, the people that would judge us, right? But they go with the simple pages that convey the benefits and they find that those pages win. Now, there are people that are, innovating with full background type imagery and things like that. But for the most part, these funnels aren't the fancy sites that the design firms are going to give you with the branded sites. And the problem is the designers are designers. They're artistic. They're creative. They can make you feel good. They can make you look good. And there are reasons to want this. I'll give you some hints. Maybe media, if you're going after that. If you want to be on Oprah or Super Soul Sundays, well, you don't send Oprah to your opt-in page or her team. Anybody who is not your target market that you don't need a conversion from, but you need some type of social acceptance from or something like that, you send to your branded site. But you must understand that it's not going to be your branded site where they can just do whatever they want and it looks good and feels good. That's not often what's going to make your money if you're a direct response marketer, right? So your opt-in page, and you've got your sales page. Maybe you've got your webinar, your video sales letter on that. And you can see the differences between direct response marketers and sort of branded types of websites. And these end up being either bigger companies or even startups with a lot of money to spend, right? And they're startups that, they can raise several millions of dollars in capital, but they're not guaranteed to be successful, especially if they don't understand how to get money and convert people from, the money that they've been able to raise, right? So this is like your sales videos, your webinars, your upsell pages, right? And why funnels win is that you don't have all of these options for your viewer, your visitor. There's only one thing to do, either opt in or leave. And then when they get to the next step, there's only one thing to do, either consume the sales tool, the sales video, video sales letter, webinar, whatever it is, or leave. And then if they end up buying, it's not over, right? Robert Cialdini taught us about commitment and consistency. They've committed to one thing, the initial purchase, but now they have the opportunity to either upgrade by clicking the one-click upsell, which you'll find oftentimes is a big component of a funnel, or they don't. There's always like this binary sort of setup, right? Versus like the branded sites are more about sort of prestige, right? There's many options, and it's more about how you appear and your positioning. And so here's how you reconcile the two. You can have both, but just make sure anytime you're putting money on the line, if you're going to Facebook ads, you're going to Google AdWords, you're sending them to your funnel. And then oftentimes your branded site, like my branded sites, you can't even really get to my funnels. Now, can you put a banner, right, from your branded site? They click, it opens in a new window, and now they're at your funnel? Absolutely, right? That's the way I do it, right? But sometimes, it's kind of like its own little island. Go there if you just want to know what I do. Go there if you just want the nice, pretty synopsis of my story and, that. But I'm not looking to that to be the thing that converts. Will I get conversions from it? Will some of those people click over to my funnel where I know the heavy lifting is being done? Absolutely, right? But my branding site is my branded site, and my funnels are my funnels. And all I want you to do in this video and get out of it is understand the differences. Doesn't mean you don't have one or the other, but you understand what are the purposes and what are the functions. And I know some people that once they're successful, right, it's not the branding site that makes them successful, it's the funnels. And something about success, nothing fails like success. And I've seen way too many of my colleagues do this. And you just got to be careful with it. Right? They'll build their riches and they'll build their success with the ugly squeeze pages, with the ugly funnels, with the hardcore binary setups. It's basically hard if you don't understand direct response marketing to say, wait, you mean I take traffic from Facebook and I send them to a dead end page where the only thing they can do is give me their email? And I spend money? Like, for someone who doesn't understand this world, they're new to direct response marketing, they never heard the term squeeze page or opt-in page. That's a big decision. That's a big epiphany or something they have to overcome. And then they finally do it and they compare the results. Like, if I send people to a branded site and maybe it even has a blog connected to it, at best, I'll get 2 to 5% of people to opt in if I put a little opt-in box on the right side. But then there's all these other things they can do and navigation links and even blog posts they can click on. 2 to 5%, run of the mill. Like, it's just your universal opt-in rate because it's everywhere. And it's on every page too. And it's still 2 to 5% of unique visitors will be about a universal opt-in rate. You send them to a funnel and you'll start at 20%. Many people can get 40%. 50% opt-in rate, but 20% would be a good benchmark. That's because of the binary setup. There's only one thing. You've just eliminated all of the distractions. You've made it about one choice. I wrote a blog post about the problem with choice, and what choice has done. There's a book called Paradox of Choice. We're in an abundant world now, but now it's too much choice. You send it to a branded website, you're not going to get leads, right? Comparative to sending to a funnel. And then you're not going to get as many people looking at your sales message. There's too much to do. And if there's not a primary objective, here, there is. They opt in. Everybody who opt in, we're guaranteed that they see our sales video. So this is just more directed. So back to my story about the gurus, what they'll do is it was this who built their money and their success. But then we get to a certain level. Maybe we're hanging out at the country club now and, somebody asks what you do and you can't send them to the funnel. Or maybe you feel like the funnel isn't good enough because of its look. Not because of its function, but because of its look. And then so These guys run to pay tens of thousands of dollars for the high-end photography, and then the watch on the skyscraper looking up, to be that, Branson, right? Or that Trump, and then they go build their branded websites and spend way more money they would have ever spent on their simple funnels built by their simple tools like Lead Pages or Thrive Website Builder with WordPress or Optimize Press. It was that who did it, but then we go seek our prestige and things later. And hey, as long as it doesn't take away from what's working, do it. But understand where the money is made, and that's with funnels, that's with pages with objectives, that's with really binary setups. And if you know what you're doing, can you find a middle ground between both? Yes, I've seen it done where I go to a page that looks beautiful, stunning, but it has all of the components of, direct response marketing. And so if you can figure out kind of how to create your own blue ocean type page that can marry the two worlds, and I've tried to do that with some of my properties, but what you find, just make sure you test and track and just don't go with your ego. If it was up to ego, branded website all the way. But if it's up for results, if it's up to results, you go with funnels, you go with objective pages. All right, so this has been Automation Monday, where, like I said, I tackle an issue, a question, a philosophy each and every week. And hopefully you enjoyed this discussion on funnel versus branded site. Now, if you want more of this, go over to automationmondays.com. You'll see all of my past episodes. Go to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe there to be the first to know when we release videos like this. Head over to my social media. We release quotes, information, other in-between things between the shows, and get on my list. Download my free report, my video series, and really get plugged into this information. Head over to automationclinic.com for that and more. I'm Jermaine Griggs. This has been Automation Mondays. And remember, let your business run itself. See you next time.